Have you seen live action Squid Game? I have not, and I'm not going to. Also, aren't there people who are like threatening to sue? I shouldn't let this play. It's definitely like easy DMCA material. Live action Squid Game threaten to sue. The contestants who have threatened to sue the show's producers allege they were made to crouch without moving for prolonged periods in cold weather. Yes. You have to be incredibly careful when you're doing game show stuff that involves physical challenges. Did they not get like liability forms, or did they not have like the standard like you could die doing this form? Don't sue us. Poor health and safety standards on set. Squid Game: The Challenge took the chaotic gameplay of Netflix's smash hit Korean drama Squid Game and made it a reality without the fatal consequences. I look, I know I'm not the first person to say this. In fact, I'm just about the last. However, I want to add my voice to the ring. I want to be one of the many, many people who says it's genuinely disgusting to take a show like Squid Game, which is literally about like the horrific conditions that capitalism puts us through, particularly in the context of South Korea and its incredibly bad work culture. And then to go like, oh well, what if it was real? Haha. Like, and this is like the most unoriginal observation one could possibly make. I'm not, like everyone knows that. The producers who made this know that. I'm not introducing anything new by saying it, but all the same, I feel a need to say it. They compete for an impressive US 4.56 million prize, the largest ever single prize in game show history. The potential lawsuit revolves specifically around the first red light, green light challenge in the reality show. They were instructed to evade capture by a giant nursery rhyme singing robotic doll. Rather than using bullets, as is the case in the original drama, contestants were struck with radio controlled exploding dye once eliminated. Okay. Daniel Slade, the CEO of Express Solicitors, said show producers, quote, push the boundaries of safety in the name of entertainment. A participant told the UK Sun at least one player had to be carried out in a stretcher. Slade endorsed the claim about a stretchered contestant in a statement to The Guardian. He said another participant's hands turned purple in the cold. Where did they film this? Filmed at Cardington Studios, a former Royal Air Force base in Bedfordshire, UK, in January? Are you insane? Why? Are there not other places you could film? The UK can get pretty cool. Yeah. Bedfordshire is more north than like any part of America, save Alaska. And January is like the coldest month in most places that get cold. That's insane. I think that's the point. That is the point. The reality show studio is in the UK. Then do it in a covered area, or do it in an area where do wait for the summer, or there's a million things you could do. Yeah, the execs associated with Squid Game are all very stupid people. The executive producer of the Squid Game reality series says, quote, the anti-capitalist allegory is only one very small part of the actual Squid Game series. See, this is what I mean. You would think that they would be self-aware about it and be like, oh yeah, it's a show about how bad this stuff is and we're doing it. Yeah, okay, haha. But they're not, because they're idiots. So instead they have to do that was just like set dressing, the real part of Squid, the real thing that Squid Game was about the friendship, persevering through adversity is the real thing that it's about. I remember the discourse when Squid Game came out, and there were people who were actually genuinely arguing that Squid Game did not have strong anti-capitalist themes when one of the main characters is an escapee from North Korea who at one point was like, really considering going back there. Not in like the campus North Korea's good kind of way, but more in a this is that bad kind of way. It is a like critical part of the mind of a studio executive, I feel, to permanently miss the point. And I feel like the wealthier you are, the less capable you are of understanding stuff like this. You know, we often like to believe that the wealthy and the powerful are evil and they know that what they're doing is wrong. But in reality, these people consume the Kool-Aid more than anyone. Wealthy people are usually like delusionally obsessed with the the assumptions or like the ideology that allows them to believe that what they're doing is right. So like super powerful executives who like have all this money and all this power and do all these things like, well, actually, and they believe a worldview that legitimizes what they do, morally speaking. So I guess that's the case here too. These guys just can't really perceive the point of the show. So that's cool. Though the entire game takes only about 5 minutes in the Squid Game, the challenge episode, contestant Lorenzo Nobilio told the BBC it took her 7 hours to cross the finish line in Bedfordshire January weather. That's like potentially frostbite territory, depending on the specifics. Like 7 hours with bare hands outside in January in Seattle would be extremely inadvisable. It's a lot colder there. I don't think Bedfordshire is where you think it is. Isn't it in the UK? The UK gets really cold. Yeah. It's like, it's near London. I mean, depending on what you mean by near. I'm sure people in the UK would take issue with that, but near by my standard. Yeah. It gets cold as shit here. Yeah, a little north of London. Yeah, not to mention you're not allowed to lose. Or sorry, you're not allowed to move. Of course, you're not allowed to lose. You're not allowed to move either. Like the way you stay warm is by keeping your hands in your pockets or like shuffling them together or whatever. The fuck is that map? Is this not the counties? I've seen the Map Men episode. I know it's complicated. Look, Bedfordshire. Temperatures in all months. Yeah, according to this, weather averages in Bedfordshire. In January, the high is 45. The low is 39. So I know that's not freezing, but having your hands out in 39-degree weather or even 45-degree weather for multiple hours is absolutely now in real measurements. 4 to 8 C, I guess. The weather forecast for the time this happened or in public, it was 1.5 C. Ooh, Jesus. Okay, so like 34 degrees Fahrenheit. It's 1C in the UK right now. Yeah. A second executive producer, Stephen Lambert, told the outlet that contestants knew what they signed up for, that the competition wouldn't be a cakewalk. What the dude? There is like a long and proud tradition of insanely dangerous shit happening in the course of like Hollywood filming. I mean, this isn't Hollywood, but you know, like movie, TV filming. It's gotten better with time, but it still hasn't gotten great. This is pretty bad. Yeah, isn't this literally the justification the villains use in the show? What? That you have to accept dangerous conditions for the prize and you can leave if you want to? Yeah, you're right. That is literally the thing the villains in the original show said. Yes, that was the entire point. And all of the people voted to go back to their regular lives in the second episode, but then because their regular lives sucked so much, a lot of them voted to go back in because they were that desperate for the money. Oh my God, dude. Wow, it's so authentic. It's so realistic. Really, yeah, really going for the holy shit. I thought this was Ian Miles Chong for a second. I'm really sorry to this guy for saying that. Whoo! It still hurts my heart so much to know that a lot of Americans probably watch Squid Game in the American dub. Wasn't that the original? Like that was the thing that it first played. The American dub. I watched a bit of it too. It was egregious, you know? Americans can't do subtitles for some reason. Everyone watches everything with subtitles these days anyway. I think the problem too is that the whole like standing in the cold for 7 hours freezing thing isn't really like an anticipated part of the challenge. People do difficult challenges on TV that I don't necessarily have an issue with. Like American Ninja Warrior is consistently entertaining and that shit's dangerous as hell, you know? But the people going into it know exactly what's going to happen because like they can watch previous seasons of American Ninja Warrior, you know, they see what it is, and there's an extremely extensive liability thing they have to go through to indicate like these are the challenges you're doing, you know? But in this case it's just like sitting in the cold for 7 hours. That's not really like, you know, that's not like, oh yeah, of course, I'll have to sit in the cold for 7 hours, you know? I never got around to Squid Game. Is it worth a watch? Yeah, the Squid Game show is really good. As long as you watch it in the original Korean. They're also not generally being exploited like TV show workers are. Yeah, I don't really know what goes on behind the scenes that much when it comes to stuff like American Ninja Warrior, but I do get, I guess, a slightly more wholesome vibe from that than I do from most like long-term reality TV show stuff where it feels like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I need to know more details, but I guess vibe check wise, I feel like the people who get into American Ninja Warrior know what they're getting into, you know? Did you see the video of a chimpanzee doing Ninja Warrior? No, and I don't want to see it because I feel like it would do very well. Oh, the really fucked up thing with American Ninja Warrior is that a couple years ago they started letting kids do it. 15, 16, and 17-year-olds, and they kick ass. Like they're tiny little invulnerable bodies that instantly heal from all injury are better at it than the adults consistently. Seriously, like the kid, some of the kids make it look like a joke. Like the adults are like pulling their heavy weight around with their like old decrepit joints and stuff, and then a 17-year-old Zoomer with a broccoli cut just flosses his way up to the top. Like it's insane, genuinely. You can tell it makes the old people mad too. Like you genuinely, you can tell because there's like some 28-year-old guy, like prime of his life, who spent his entire like, his whole life training for this, and like it's so hard for him. And then some kid, boom, zooming on up. Yeah, kids are really, 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 really good at climbing. Like probably better than adults can be, except for at the very highest end of like athletic performance. And I think a lot of that is because of the heavy joint use. Getting older, you can build your muscles up, but your joints, they kind of get weaker with time. So I think they benefit from that. They also tend to be smaller, and that helps because you have to move less body around, you know? Yeah. Sounds like you're describing a ferret. Children are kind of like ferrets. They're stinky, boneless, and cute. Yeah. Back in high school, the people who could do the most pull-ups were always the smallest. Yeah. Yeah. They're good at getting their tiny hands on machines to repair in factories. Yes, this is how we use the untapped athletic potential of young people, okay? You see, there are complicated mechanisms that need to be unjammed from within these massive looms, okay? And it's these textile factories, all right? We need to get the line working again. Into the looms, children. Just like doing like American Ninja Warrior, except it's some like chimney sweep Dickens ass little like 4-year-old kid wearing baby work clothes swinging around inside a gigantic loom trying to like unbend the like make his way out. And of course, instead of like falling into water, they just get mulched by the gears at the bottom if they fuck up. Yeah. This is the plot to Snowpiercer. I haven't seen it, so I believe you. As a low-level rock climber, I make a point of never watching kids climb. Their strength-to-weight ratio is obnoxious. Okay, but you know what you can do better than them? Throw a punch, okay? Listen, kids may be good at the gymnastics and the climbing and stuff, but there are lots of athletic skills that are absolutely not a young man's game, okay? Mike Tyson was probably a more of a powerhouse at 30 than he was at 13. I don't know that for sure. I haven't fought him. I haven't traveled back in time and fought him. I hope I never do.